remark before we get started into the session proper. So, sir, you have the floor. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Ms. Okpeudu from FCMB. I think this is a great collaboration between your organization and ours. We bank with FCMB, which is a good start. And I would like to thank Professor Ajala for bringing up the possibility of having something like this. We really do appreciate that. We believe it's going to be a two-way benefit for FCMB and also for our members from your presentation today. It's a good start, so we'll see how it goes, and we pray that everything goes on well. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So before going to the session proper, I would like to talk a little bit about FCMB Asset Management, just a minute, then introduce our team members who will begin the presentation. So FCMB Asset Management Limited is a subsidiary of the CSL Stockbrokers Limited and a member of the FCMB Group PLC. We're established in 1997 to provide portfolio management and investment advisory services to individual and institutional clients globally. So you can read more about our brand. I'll share the link on the group, on the page here, on the chat group, so that everybody can click on the link and read more about us. So on the call today, we have two of our colleagues. Our national sales manager, Ifoma Onoha, is here, and one of our portfolio managers, Barnabas Akinkunmi, is here too. Please permit me if I murdered your son, forgive me. Okay, so Ifoma is going to take the floor, and I'll share my screen so that we'll see the presentation slides, and we'll take it from there. After the session will be very, very brief, and after the session, we're going to have a short Q&A session. Any questions you have about investment, you can throw that question at us. And if we can't take the question here, we'll connect with you with emails. I will send your responses to you later. So thank you. So Ifoma, you have the floor right now. I'll share my screen. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for having us. We're very delighted to be here. My name is Ifoma Onoha, and I'm currently National Sales Manager for FCMB Assets Management. This is an investment advisory and financial planning session. We are going to take you through the session. We'll try to make it as brief and as concise as possible, knowing fully well people have some engagements tomorrow, and some people might also want to retire early. Firstly, we'll go through the introductions, the macros. What the macros are is basically giving an overview of the macroeconomy, what happens in the macros, which my colleague Barnabas will take. I would also speak about managing your finances, managing risk, and a little bit of information and context about FCMB Asset Management and also our contact. Yeah. So the most important thing is the objective of this session. So this session is to increase clarity on financial planning, what the environments look like, the macroeconomy and the investment environment look like. How do we keep financially fit in the light of current realities? We are in a very, very critical time as an economy, as a country. So we have to also try as much as we can to be financially fit. What options are available and also how to proceed. By the time we answer all these questions, we'll come up with a tangible plan. So this is the macroeconomic and market outlook. Barnabas Akinkunmi, my colleague, will take this slide. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm delighted to be part of this meeting today. So I will just quickly go through the macroeconomic and market outlook. So in Q1, we just ended 2 days ago. We experienced four major things in Nigeria, which is naira scarcity, high domestic inflation, fuel scarcity, and severe FX constraints. Now, this table shows some of our projections regarding key macroeconomic indices. We have here the first one, oil price. It closed 2022 at 85.91. It's currently trading it's closed on Friday at 79.89, and we expect that the oil price is going to remain strong even as we go into the second quarter. This is, in fact, before joining this meeting, I just learned that some countries in the Middle East have decided to voluntarily cut their oil production. So we expect that in the second quarter, oil prices are going to probably rally, even going on from this 79.89 that we see. But on average, for the entire year 2023, we expect the year to close at a lower figure, which is 67.5. And then for oil production relating to Nigeria, we closed the year at last year at 1.34 million barrels per day. Currently, we have improved, which is we are currently at 1.38 million barrels per day, and we expect that production levels are going to increase in the second quarter, and even as the new government comes on board, we believe that they're going to do a lot to curb oil theft and also increase production. So averagely, for year 2023, we expect an average daily production of 1.5 million barrels per day. Our external reserves as well, we closed 2022 at 37.08 billion. Currently, we are at 35.57, which is lower than where we closed last year. And we are anticipating a higher external reserve accretion beginning from the third quarter as investors begin to pile funds into emerging markets once again. Because what we've seen recently is most investors are fleeing to safer havens for their investments. So we've seen a decline, and by the end of this year, we expect that our external reserves will go up to 39.5. GDP growth as well. Financial year 2022 closed at 3.4%. Currently, we're at 3.1% year on year. We expect that due to the inflation and the monetary policy rate tightening, this will impact GDP and slow momentum for economic growth. So we expect it to close lower at 2.95%. Exchange rates, the current exchange rate is 460.85, closed Q1 460.85. 2022, it was closed at 461.5. We expect that we expect to see a limited devaluation in the first half of 2023. But when the new government comes on board, we believe that they are going to try to narrow the gap between the parallel market, which is currently around 750. So we believe they are going to try to narrow the gap and bring. So it means the CBN will have to devalue the currency to 545, and then probably the parallel market rate will probably come down to about maybe 670 or 675. But the gap won't be as much as we expect the gap to close a bit. Looking at inflation as well, closed the year 2022 at 21.34%. Currently, for the inflation figure for February is 21.91%, which is the latest figure available. And we expect that it's on average will close 2023 at 21.59. We also look at the monetary policy rate. We closed 2022 at 16.5%. This year, the CBN has hiked the rate twice. In January, they increased it by 1%, and the latest one this month, 50 bips was added to to the 17.5%, bringing it to 18. So we expect it to close at 18.13. We expect that the CBN will continue to lift policy rates at a slower pace, which is what we've seen, instead of the usual maybe 1.5, 150 basis points increase. The latest one was just 50 bips. So this is due to the existence of negative real interest rates and a situation in advanced markets in Europe and in the US where rates are being increased. So the central bank will likely be more aggressive in the third quarter due to anticipated inflationary and currency pressures. For fixed income, the benchmark 10-year bond closed at 14.55 in 2022. Currently, it closed March at 14.15%. We expect the yield to rise by the end of the year due to additional government borrowing. We believe that the new government is going to try to be ambitious and will therefore increase borrowing, therefore making the yields to go higher. For the equities market, closed positive 2022 at 19.98%. Year to date, we've done the all-share index has done 5.82% positive, and we expect that as foreign investors begin to their confidence in the new government begins to rise, they'll bring in more funds, and therefore that will make the markets to perform better and close the year on 32% positive. So that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Barnabas. So I'll dive straight into the financial lifestyle and where do you belong. So looking at this slide, we have categorized different demography for different financial life cycles, because at every point in your life, there is a phase where you are when it comes to your financial lifestyle. So 18 to 25, we categorize them as young adults. In this stage, we call them the consumption stage. Their key financial activity is that they are spenders, and the recommendation as a financial advisor or as financial advisors will tell them to save and invest at this particular stage. The next stage is known as the accumulation phase. In this particular phase, you find a lot of young couples from 26 to 35. Our key financial activity that you see them do mostly is asset acquisition. At this stage of their life, they are trying to acquire assets, they are trying to invest in themselves, do different kinds of investments. From 36 to 55 years, we call them the consolidation stage. In this demography, you find a lot of matured couples. The key financial activity is family maintenance, and the recommendation will be to protect and to preserve. When we say family maintenance, most of them in this age category have kids. They are, trying to pay school fees, trying to maybe get mortgage for acquire properties and all those sort of financial commitments. From 56 years and above, we call them the dissipation phase. We find a lot of elderly, senior citizens in this age category. The key financial activity is reliance, and also is the legacy phase. The key financial activity is for them to transfer the wealth that they've consolidated over the years. This slide speaks to planning. Personal finance is 80% behavior and only 20% head knowledge. Prayer may not be able to help you when it comes to financial, personal finance and planning. So there are different steps to financial fitness, which at the core of it is to obtain knowledge and advice. So once you have the requisite knowledge and advice, every other thing revolves around it. You have to invest wisely, maintain a steady lifestyle, put your finances on autopilot. It means making your finances work for you. setting financial goals, understanding where your money is going. This is speaking to budgeting, and also manage your debt. Debt is absolutely important in some cases, but you have to know the kind of debt you're getting and the reason why you're getting such debts. So the rule of thumb in investments and in financial planning are categorized into short-term goals, medium-term goals, and long-term goals. For short-term goals, you typically have plans that you want to execute within the next 5 years. So for monies that you know you will need under the next 5 years, we say save. For medium-term goals, is plans within the next 5 to 10 years, is monies that you will need for more than 5 years. The goal will also be to invest. For long-term goals, there are finances or funds that you need over a period of 10 years, over 10 years. These monies are required between over 10 years. Your attitude or the investor's attitude towards different risk and investment goal and financial situation must be taken into consideration for long-term investing. We would also speak about risk, because with investing comes certain level of risk. For every types of investments that you're going to take on, they will have different elements of risk. For us in investing and also in advising clients, we also prepare their mind that every kind of investment have a certain level of risk. There are no risk-free investments. So it's knowing a level of risk that you are averse to, or understanding your risk appetite will also make you, make the right kind of decisions and choose the investments that is very fitting for you. So investments can be categorized into low risk, medium risk, and high risk. For bonds, debt instruments, commercial papers, treasury bills, fixed deposits, cash and cash equivalents, they are categorized under low risk. For ETFs, like equity, exchange traded funds, equity funds, some kind of equity-based mutual funds, stocks, and high income bonds, they can be categorized as high risk investments alongside with options. There are things that are called options, futures, cryptos, collectibles, and commodities. Those are very high risk investments. So here I'm going to be speaking to debt instruments, different kinds of investments that we have, especially the ones that are kind of like short-term and low risk. So there are money market funds. The money market fund it invests in a diversified portfolio of high yield and high quality short-term money market instruments. The main objective is to provide investors with capital preservation, provide them liquidity, income, also in line with prevailing yields in the money market space. Treasury bills are a lot more popular. They are short-dated, discounted debt instruments. Is issued by the Debt Management Office on behalf of the federal government. They are typically tenors of 91 days, 182 days, and 364 days. And treasury bills are usually bidded through auctions that happen every fortnight. Clients are also, the risk in treasury bills is just that you are exposed to the risk of the federal government of the country issuing it, in this case, federal government of Nigeria. There are also instruments called commercial papers. They are short-term unsecured debt obligations. They're very similar to treasury bills. So when treasury bills are being issued by a federal government of a country, commercial papers are typically issued by highly rated, organizations. It can be financial institutions, it can be FMCGs. So commercial papers are typically raised by rated organizations to fund their different kind of obligations that the company might have. Their tenors are usually 90, 180, and 270 days. You don't find commercial papers that are above 270 days. There's also bonds. They can be issued by federal government, subnational and corporate bonds as well. Even multilaterals organizations can issue bonds. They are typically long tenured, more than commercial papers and treasury bills. You will find bonds from 3 years and above. Euro bonds are debt instruments, but they are denominated in currencies that are non-native to the country where they are issued. So if you want to buy Euro bonds in Nigeria, you can get it in USD, GBP, or Euros. And they are also issued by countries. Their Euro bonds are issued by Nigeria, Ghana. You can find one sometimes for Algeria. Also, there are corporate organizations, especially banks, that also issue Euro bonds. It gives you the liberty to invest in a currency that is not yours, especially people who want to hedge against currency devaluation or inflation. They can take on Euro bonds. There is also annuity plans that it helps you accumulate your investments in order to secure an income through retirement. So it is designed to help the investor receive regular income after a lump sum over a period of time of the life of the instrument. We're also going to speak about managing risk again on this slide. When we talk about risk, there are different kinds of risk one can encounter as they go through their day-to-day life. There is the market and investment risk when you're investing. So to mitigate this market and investment risk, the best way to approach it will be through diversifying your investments. So you can diversify across and within low correlated asset classes to spread your investment risk. So it's just not putting all your eggs in one basket when it comes to investing. Maybe you can start up with doing Naira investment, and at some point you can look into diversifying into also doing like a USD investment. For personal loss risk, the recommendation would be to take on insurance, whether it's life insurance, health insurance, home insurance, and so on, car insurance, and all of that. So just to mitigate personal loss, because that's also a kind of risk one can encounter. For risk, credit risk, inheritance risk, personal loss as well, one can look into wills and estate planning, wills and trust. You can take on education trust, living trust, and testamentary trust, just to, put your shop in order and mitigate certain kind of risk. Speaking a little bit about FCMB Group, we have about 11 operating entities within the group, including the holding company. Our core values are execution, professionalism, innovation, and customer focused. Inside within the group, we have the FCMB Monuments, the First City Monument Bank, the FCMB. We have the Credit Direct. We have FCMB Microfinance Bank, FCMB Capital Markets, which is our investment banking subsidiary, CSL Stockbrokers, FCMB Pensions, FCMB Trustees Limited, FCMB Asset Management, and we recently acquired ICO Pension Managers. So FCMB Pensions acquired ICO Pension Managers. We also have the FCMB UK, which is our UK subsidiary. So speaking a little bit about our products, some of the products we have the collective investment scheme, also known as the mutual funds, which I will speak a bit about much later. We have the investment management products and services. We have structured products, whether it's in local currency or foreign currency. We have portfolio management, which can also be in local currency or foreign currency. Example, Eurobonds, they fall under this. They fall under the portfolio managed products. So for the mutual funds, we have 4 types of mutual funds in FCMB Asset Management. We have the Legacy Money Market Fund, the Legacy Debt Fund, the Legacy Equity Fund, and the Legacy USD Bond Fund. We have our credit-linked investment plan, which is like a fixed deposit, but it starts from, I think, about 10 million. We have the FCMB Series 3 investment plan and the FCMB USD Notes linked investment plan. For the money market fund, I'll speak about the mutual funds much later and just describe some of their features in subsequent slides. So for portfolio management, which is typically tailored towards our high net worth individuals, We have the discretionary mandates, which are the fund manager, FCMB Asset Management in this case, agrees the investment objectives with the investor and then creates a portfolio to mirror the investor's risk return goals. The fund manager makes all the investment decisions on behalf of the investor at a fee. The non-discretionary mandate is the opposite of the discretionary mandate. Here, the client makes most of the decisions on their own. We just advise them and give them the options, and they tell us what we should do. Execution only are for products like when you want to buy treasury bills, FGM bonds, FGN savings bonds, some of these instruments that are already in the market, but you want us to execute it on your behalf. We also have our structured products, which can be in local currency or foreign currency. So with structured products is the client telling us what they want. Maybe they are looking for a high yield, both in local and foreign currencies. It's typically targeted towards some individual and also institutional investors. You can get up to 5% per annum on a local currency on a structured product, or even more than that, and can also return up to 10% depending on availability and also market conditions. We have our lend services, which is typical to loans. However, we are not licensed to give out loans as we are regulated by SEC. But being that we have a handshake with the bank, we have a synergy. You can get like you can have an investment with us and decide to use it as a collateral for a loan in the bank. So we can put that investment on lend and use it to give you any loan that you want from the bank. This is shedding more light to our board, the people behind the organization and upholding our corporate governance. So we have the chairman as Bismarck Rewani. We have Ladi Balogun, who is a non-executive director. We have Boyega Balogun, who is also a non-executive director. Felicia Bozua, James Ilori as our CEO, and Fumi Adedibu as the company secretary. Also, these are some of the contacts that you can reach if you have further questions. But I will go back to the slide on money market fund so I can shed a bit of light to it. I like talking about money market fund because it's a good avenue for people who are just wanting to start out investments to look into. I'm saying this because it is very flexible. It is highly low risk. It guarantees you income every day, and that income that you earn on your investment, you can take it out at the end of the quarter, or you can roll it over on your principal. It is averaging around 9% for now. And the good thing about the money market fund is that it is doing better typically than what you get on a treasury bill. Let's say you want to invest in a 90-day treasury bill and investing in the mutual fund for a period of 90 days and using it to benchmark. The return that you get on the legacy money market fund will be better than what you get for in a treasury bill. And also, it gives you the liberty, like I said, to take the interest you earn on your investment daily at the end of the quarter. The quarter just ended, the first quarter of the year ended 31st of March. And by the end of this week, all the investors that invested with us are going to receive all the interest that they earned in Q1. Is either we pay it to their designated bank account or we roll it over on their principal, depending on the instruction and mandates that they have with us. It is very flexible. The minimum holding period is 30 days, in as much as you can use it as a means of emergency funds. And after 30 days, if you have a need for it or you want to continue the investment, you can continue running it. So it's just like a jaw and a susu, but professionally managed. That is the way I can best explain our legacy money market fund. We'll still share more information on it via this once we get your emails for you to look into it. But I would like to use this opportunity to take any questions that you have for I or my colleague Barnabas. We'll be willing to take on those. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Ifeoma And we appreciate your presentation. That was quite extensive. I know it's a little bit short, but we thank you. So, gentlemen, the floor is open. Let's go ahead. I have my own question, but the floor is open for everyone. Thank you. Go ahead, Ejibadaru.
Okay, thank you, my president. I want to say thank you to the FCMB team. First, my question. The last money market investments option that you explained, I want to know what is the difference between the kind of interest that such investment may yield and the one that that could be obtained from fixed deposits investments. So that's one. Then number two, what is the option of taking a credit card facility in form of a loan from FCMB? What is the procedure?
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Badru. For your first question, the difference between the fixed deposits and the money market fund is enormous. Firstly, the money market fund is an SEC regulated public fund. It gives you the liberty to invest even as low as 1,000 naira, to subscribe and make additional investments at free will. It is not the same as fixed deposits, because fixed deposits for us to even invest in our fixed deposit, you have to have at least 10 million and above. And even at that, I'm not sure that the rate you will get for the fixed deposit will be better than what you get for a money market fund, depending on where the instruments are averaging at the time. So money market funds encourages retail investors, first-time investors, to even start at a minimal amount and build their investments from there. So you can also make additional subscriptions when it comes to money market funds. So there is no maximum, there's just a minimum amount. We have institutions, we have cooperatives, we have associations that invested in it. So it gives you that room that fixed deposit doesn't give you. When you lock up your funds for 90 days, you've locked it up. You have to hold it till maturity. If you want to break it, sometimes there are penal charges that are involved. But for money market fund, the only clause is holding that your initial investment at least above 30 days. You're free to take out everything, including the interest end, and come back whenever you feel like, because it's an open-ended fund. So you can even take out all your money. Maybe you have an emergency, you can redeem everything, use it to solve whatever emergency you have or whatever issue you want to solve. And when you're also ready to come back, even if it's in 1 year, 2 year time, you can just inflow back into the investment and it starts running at the interest rates that the investment is at then. So that's the difference between a fixed deposit and a money market fund. Your second question about getting a credit card, I think we would get more information on that and pass it across to our loan department in the bank. I can assure you that we can get that information, but however, for us, we're not licensed, like I mentioned before, we're not licensed to give out loans. It's only our microfinance subsidiary and also the bank that are licensed to do that. But however, like I said, if you have an investment with us and want to maybe go to our bank and want to get a loan, and for any reason you need a collateral, you can use the investment you have with us, place it on a lend to get a loan from our bank. So we operate as different entities because we also have different regulators. So we're not commingling funds and doing what you're not supposed to do. So as investment managers, as fund managers, we stick to our rules with SEC, and our banks stick to the rules with CBN. Our pension arms stick to the rules that they have with PenCom. So that's how everybody operates. But definitely we can get you more information on the credit card and whatever it entails. We can get that from our subsidiary or even introduce you to someone that will help you with that at the bank. I hope that answers your question.
Yes. Thank you very much. I'm even surprised that with some naira I left in some bank accounts, not FCMB, because I operate 2 bank accounts with 2 Nigerian banks, so UBA and First Bank. So I'm surprised that you are just letting me to know that if I wish to have a fixed deposit account with FCMB, I must have up to 10 million naira. So your bank is operating at the level of
Not
people who are
Mr.
let me
Badru. Mr.
let me
Badru,
let me land.
no,
Let me
no,
land.
I have to chip in. It is not our bank. I am speaking to you as a fund manager. Our bank, even below 1 million, you can do fixed deposits with our bank. I'm speaking to you now as FCMB Asset Management, not FCMB the bank. So if you want to get up, because we have these products that clients can do, we won't take, when we know that you can get 8% on our mutual funds, we will not come and be telling you to come and do fixed deposit at 2% or 3%. So we'd rather, like, if you approach us as a fund manager, we advise you to take on our mutual funds. If we've profiled you and your risk appetite and everything, your profile and the money you want to invest fit into that category, we'd advise you to take on the mutual fund because it pays you better. But for clients that are like high end, that are now looking at doing fixed deposit or structured products with us, FCMB Asset Management, we will not discuss it. It's a different conversation entirely. That's why the sum that you're hearing is a little too high. We have different classes of product. But if you walk into any of our branch to ask for fixed deposit, of course, I'm thinking even with 500,000 or 1 million, they'll be able to, attend to you. But it's just that the rates that you might be getting will be very, very ridiculous. I promise you of that.
Okay. So in simple terms, you are advising that we should take the money market option and not the fixed deposit account option.
The decision is all yours at the end of the day. We put all our cards on the table. Different folks for different, people. You advise, you give them all the options. At the end of the day, is your decision to make. If you feel like a fixed deposit at 2-3% is good for you, of course, we won't stop you. If you also feel like, okay, money market is at 8-9% now, I can benefit from that, is also your call at the end of the day.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ferman. Thank you, Dr. Badro. Can we move on to Professor Ajala, please?
Well, mine is not so much of a question. I won't talk about Pascaline yet, but I think one philosophy I've had, because she gave a demography, and I'm at a disadvantage. Myself and some people are disadvantaged on this. I think because somebody texted me and I said a question, I will mention the person's name that is also disadvantaged. That is Barrister Tuji Akimbadi. It's already disadvantaged about this. But one thing is this, which I want to stress, which Mr. President may take to our general meeting thereafter, is that the mistakes some of us made, the younger people shouldn't make it. And just like Pascal Ifoma has said, even with the money market thing, with 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, something can start. But what I want to encourage us on this, especially those with young families, you can start that money market account for your child. And one thing that I've always talked about is that everybody can, is me and Tola, yes, now we are all disadvantaged. That the amount of Coca-Cola, Dr. Badru, I think I'm addressing you personally now. You can buy Coke. If you can buy Coke a day for 20 days, if you just decide to buy Coke for 10 days, and the money for the Coke for the other 10 days, you put it in the account for your children. By the time they will be graduating from the university or getting married, and you hand that over to them, definitely they are not going to start where you you started. So, but I think I've been privileged to have been involved with some of these things, and it is true, which was why when I was approached, I had to discuss it with Mr. President. And it's also in line with our welfare policy to help ourselves to grow and develop. So I think it's something, it's good that Dr. Badru asked that question, because people will not be thinking, yeah, me, I don't have 10 million and do all these things. You know, there are little things that can be done. And I think I want to encourage everybody to get on board. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Ajala. Any other hands up? And before we get to that, Professor Ajala, I'm sure Ms. Ifeoma and Mr. Barnabas and Ms. Pascaline, they're taking your name to the HR. You're doing a good job. FCMB HR, you've done a good job. Yeah.
No, it's a burden to get everybody. You know, there was an inaugural lecture that was just done about last week or so in the University of Baden, where Professor Adewi was talking about how do you get people out of poverty? Is it the economics of poverty or poverty of economics? Something of that nature. Politics of economics or economics of politics that puts people in poverty, you know. So if we are going to fight poverty, we've got to fight it all together. As Yorubas with the it is Dojimeji.
Thank you very much, Prof. So this is my yeah. I know, Ms. Fema was going to say that. Let me just say this. I think this has been a wonderful presentation, and I like the money market, the fund that Ms. Ms. Ifeoma mentioned. It's a good thing that even if somebody's as young as Professor Ajala, you can still get into it. You're not too old. You can still get
I'm a young boy.
Okay, so let me have, this is my own question. I think my question, the thought came to me when I was listening to Mr. Barnabas. So how do you explain the inflation rate going on in our country? What are the main causes of that high rate, that 21.5 that you presented? And I also see that it appears to be confident about the new government coming in, that it appears things are going to be better and the economy has the chance of growing at a better rate. Can you please tell us more about that inflation and where the confidence is coming from for the new government? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe the main driver for the inflation is still remains things that we've seen in successive governments. Basically supply side constraints, where you have farmers who are unable to, effectively store their produce, or who because of insecurity are unable to transfer, produce from the farm to the market, and then partly also because of the cash scarcity that we experienced in Q1. I think this is also one of the main driver, because you can imagine using trying to, before you purchase something in the market, you have to use money to buy money, whereby you want to take 5,000 naira from the POS, and then the person is telling you have to pay 1,000 or 2,000 naira. That's already 20%. So by the time you go to the market, you buy the things you want to sell, and then when you're selling them to the final consumer, you also have to mark that up or put your own margin on it. So those are some of the factors, basically supply side constraints and the cash scarcity, and then even the fuel scarcity as well, that was experienced from December, January, and February. So all these things all go into the increasing inflation that we continue to see. And then the second question you asked about the positive momentum for the new government. Well, I think people will be cautious. They're going to give them some time to to see, to see the direction that the government is going in. So I don't think we'll see the immediate positive momentum by the time the government takes over in May. So it may flow into the third quarter before we begin to see foreign portfolio investors coming back into the country, and even our stock exchange generating a very, very good return, when those guys come back with their investments. And also, we will also hope that the rate hikes currently seen in developed markets, we hope that it's going to, probably come to a halt, and then so that these guys can now begin to look for places where they can get better returns compared to what is being offered over there. So I think, I don't know if I've been able to answer your question, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. I just wanted that for information purpose, but I think you've done very well. Thank you very much. We'll move on to Mr. Akimbade. Please go ahead, Mr. Akimbade.
Good evening, all. Sorry for coming a little bit late. I think I was about 10-15 minutes late, but all
Show your face, let's see you.
I'm not actually. I'm actually the opposite. I'm not wearing anything. So that shows you how young I am.
Guys.
Anyway,
let's go on. All these old people, go on.
Yeah, thank you for the initiative. I also want to thank, I think it's Ifeoma, Barnabas, and the other gentleman. My own comment is not, well, it's not really a it's not to demarket you, but I'll just say that it is. Tola, I assume they know that that is the former Barnabas. They know that we bank with FCMB.
Yes.
Okay,
I said that at the beginning when we started. Yes.
So we bank with FCMB. There's been a Mr. Kelvin, I think, who has been our account officer for the past 2 years. I expected to see him at this meeting. I wished he had been at this meeting. You see, this is where the bank, that's the core banking group, and then there are subsidiaries like you said you are the asset management. There has to be some synergy. Our experience with FCMB has not been 100% excellent. There have been lapses, and even up till now, there's still an ongoing lapse in that, despite the fact that we've changed our signatories, I think, which took about, 3 or 4 months to do. I'm still a former signatory, I'm still receiving alerts transaction alerts on the account, which should have been given to other signatories, or at least I should have been removed. So I think you need to talk to our account officer to try and improve and rectify this. Because somebody like me, if you come and you're marketing me, I would use my experience with the bank to take a decision as to, okay, if the bank is treating me right and is honestly is doing all it should do on time, in time, best practices, I should have no problem in walking to Ifeoma or Barnabas and signing up for one of their products. But if I'm having bad experiences with the bank, then I will, think a bit about, hey, if they're doing this to me in this, if I walk into one of the subsidiaries, how do I know that it won't be the same thing or even worse? So I think, you should have had some kind of discussion with the banking officer to say, I hope they're being treated right. I hope there are no issues or whatever. That's just my own observation. But well done anyway. And that should in no way detract from the good benefits which you have tried to, and you've sacrificed some time and energy to put your presentation together and also to be here right now. But I am just saying, you understand, because I know my exco, I'm not in exco, so I am free to that extent to be able to say certain things. You understand? Please call Kelvin to order. You should treat our requests on time and in time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Fema, were you going to say something? Or say what you want to say, then I'll
say something. Thank you so much, Mr. Akimbade. That feedback is well taken, well noted. Thank you for speaking up. So from whatever the president will say, I think what we'll do is maybe after this presentation, you can send us the details, maybe through Pascaline. We would look at the branch. Of course, we have like a database. We can reach out to the account officer to note these complaints, especially with the change of signatory. It shouldn't be anything complex. Reach out to the account officer and also the customer service manager for the branch your account is, the organization account is domiciled in. Is something that we can speak to. We're very passionate about the services that we give to our customers across the group. So one complaint to another subsidiary would also trickle down to another. So it's well taken, and we can get the details and see what we can definitely do to improve the overall experience. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I'll just leave it at that. I'll get in touch with Miss Pascaline. I didn't want to bring it up initially towards this meeting because it came from organizing this came from a different side, but that's what we're going to do, what you Ms. Ifeoma just said. So I'll go on to Professor Ajala. Go ahead, please. Then I'll go on to Dr. Badru.
Thank you very much. My question will be to the FCMB group. Now, is there a way you can create an hub that anybody who is coming from us, you know, there will be a way that, you know, if let's say Barajala now wants to invest 10,000, it will be in his name, and Tuji Akibade wants to invest 40,000. It may be a minister tomorrow now. He may decide to invest 400,000. You know, where you will be able to link all these things, because we must be thinking about what comes also to Great Independence Hall Alumni Association, you know, wherein you will be able to, you can see a sum of our total investment that can be traced to the association, even though it's individual members, you know. How do we create a system to have that loop and then take care of the interests of the association? Thank you.
Mr. Ajala, I didn't quite get the details very well of what you want us to do or what you're looking at.
Okay, Miss
let me answer the question.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Miss Pascaline.
Yes, so basically, Prof wants to check the interest of the association. So any member that is coming to invest, he wants us to look at the association and what are the benefits the association can get from us as a subsidiary. Yes, so we have value-added services we offer to the investors that invest with us, both institutional and individual clients. Some of them, we give discount. Let's say, for instance, you're traveling internationally, decide to give every member of the association 15% discount on your basic flight for any international trip you're taking. You want to go to a spa, we have coupon codes for you to use and get up to 30% discount. You want to lodge in hotels, we have specific hotel partners that will give you discounts month on month based on the individual investors coming from the association. We could always give you these discounts month on month, as long as you need them. So yes, from spas to grocery to hotels and international flights, we have you covered on that basis.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Pascaline. So let's go to Dr. Badru. Then I'll ask a question before we round up. Dr. Badru, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, my president. Quickly, I just want to find out if personally, I think I'm interested in investing in some of these products of FMCMB, but some of us are not at home. So I want to ask, what is the channel for us to follow or to take in order to do one or two investments in one or two products that you have talked about this evening? So that's why, because personally, I'm thinking of punishing one of my banks. UBA. I want to UBA. I'm moving my money out of UBA because
Doctor,
I couldn't use their app during this cash scarcity for almost a month. I couldn't use it.
I've been using it virtually every day, my friend.
Me, I couldn't use it, so I want to punish them. I'm moving my money out of UBA.
You can punish them. There's no problem. I don't have any issue.
Yeah,
punish them.
I know you might be connected to some of these banks. I am saying I'll punish UBA. I'm moving my money out. So I want to know, those of us who are in diaspora, what channel do we follow in order to engage in one or two products that you have talked about this evening? Thank you. Without coming home, without coming to Nigeria. Because I know you Nigerian banks, you want us to be in your office. That's why the fact that you have all these online platforms or electronic platforms for banking and transactions. You still want us to come and do paperwork in the offices.
I support Dr. Adisa.
Me too. I vote for Dr. Adisa's comment. So let's wait for FCMB. Can you please respond? Mr. Felma, do you want to go that place to Dr.
I think I heard the last part of his question. As far as papers can go or coming to our office, that is not what we want for any of our clients. We're being as digital as possible, recognizing the fact that the world is now a global village. We have a lot of clients in diaspora. I could say a good number of our clients are not even based in Nigeria. So we try to make sure that they don't have to come to our office in Marina or any of our office in Abuja. So it's not what we want for our business. It's not the positioning we're looking for. It's not the growth we're looking for. So for all of our products, you have an online portal where you can onboard and where you can redeem. When I mean onboarding, where you can subscribe to any of our investments, and also you can redeem, you can take out that investment through that platform. Also, you have you're sent your statement of unit holding at any time where you request for it. Like I said, I know that we're part of a group, but I don't want you to entirely use all your experiences with the bank to judge us. In as much as we'll take all this feedback back to them and working as improving across board as a holding company. But for us at FCMB Asset Management Limited, we're as digitized as it gets, and we're also hoping to get better. So you don't need to come into Lagos or any of our offices in Abuja to do paperwork to be able to get on any of our investment options. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Felma.
I think
Miss Pascal. Yeah, go ahead, Miss Pascaline.
Yes, I also wanted to add, I'm the digital marketing officer. So if you have any challenge onboarding, you can always talk to me. And also on that digital platform, you can always view your accrued interest, how your investment is growing. You can always see the numbers every day. I use the dashboard myself. So whatever experience you're having, you can always reach out to me on WhatsApp or any channel, and I got you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Pascaline, and thank you, FCMB. I think what we're going to do, we're going to coordinate amongst ourselves. And once, I think Dr. Badru is your first client, and then we'll channel everything through Ms. Okweodu, and then we'll take it from there. That might be our best way also to help coordinate all these benefits, these individual benefits and institutional benefits that Professor Ajala mentioned earlier. So it might help us. As we help ourselves individually, we're also helping the Alumni Association. And we look forward to making this happen. So if you want to think about it within your bank, how best we can do this, that will really be helpful. That if you remember, we have such things in the community that I live. If you shop somewhere, you get all these benefits. If you're a member of this, some people like Professor Ajala that are of certain categories or the age, they get all these benefits. So those of us that are also in the younger ones, we also get certain benefits. Even if
How many of you?
so those things like that. So what we will appreciate from our side, the alumni, is for you to help get that in place, so that once we have anyone coming in, that will be channeled through that. It's their own individual business, but also there might most likely be a benefit for the Alumni Association. Thank you very much. Professor Ajala, you have something to say? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I just want to say that Pascaline is a great UIT, and
Okay.
she used to be a member of the UCJ.
Okay.
So I think we are in a safe hands in that.
Okay.
Ifeoma, please don't be angry. You know,
But
I
she was
need to
female,
let.
but give it to Miss Ifeoma. She was the first one to join. You have to give it to her.
Can we honor her? Mr. Professor Ajala,
Yes, please.
can we honor her as a honorary
member?
Yeah, category.
That she will have to pass through, whoever we want to honor will have to pass through the rudiments of the rule.
I am moving a powerful motion that title should be conferred on her with immediate effect.
No.
Is it Ifeoma or Pascaline?
Pascaline.
You didn't ask whether she was a Queenite or you guys.
I was an Howite.
The villagers.
Yes, so I have more to show for it.
Villagers, okay, villager, okay. So, but okay. So, let's hear from FCMB if there is any other thing they want to tell us. It's been an hour and it's been very, very informative session. So we want to ask if there's any other thing, and then so that we can move on. It's a Sunday, and people are getting ready for the next day. Yeah.
There is nothing more to add. Thank you so much for the questions and the feedback, especially the one from Mr. Kimbade. Pascaline is going to get the details. We'll help reach out to the branch and tell them the importance of why we're reaching out and why they need to rectify the issue and give better services. Apart from that, thank you so much for inviting us. We look forward to other sessions that will come from this association. We'll be more than willing anytime, any day to come and speak to new members if things develop in the market, because trends change and things change from time to time. Investment change, policies change. We can always have these sessions again whenever you call on us. Thank you so much, sirs. We really appreciate.
Thank you very much. Dr. Adisa, we're going to take you off this forum with all these your comments.
Yes. I second my president.
No, you can't second it until we make that movement. We have to
so we want to thank all our members that are hold on. We want to thank everyone that's been able to make it to this meeting. I believe FCMB they've tried, and our members have shown up really good in good numbers. We thank you. The session has been recorded. We will share it with FCMB. We'll share it with ourselves so that we all have a recording of a record of what transpired here, just in case we want to make references to anything. Miss Okweodu, I'll reach out to you during the week, and if you have any questions, please send via the email, and we'll surely get things going. Thank you very much, and I want to thank everyone again for making it to this meeting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, FCMB.
For the opportunity. We appreciate
it.
Mayo, mentoletomo ati in hot vaccine.
Boniki.
Dr. Adisa, I will call you.
Badaru, no violence. So.
No violence. Thank you, Daddy.
Dr. Adisa, you went to Fatima College?
Yes, sir.
And you are in Independence Hall, and we didn't know each other all this time.
It was when I attended the last meeting. I got to know that you are also a Fatimarian.
Yes. Yeah. And your late big brother was my friend.
Yeah. Sir?
Your late big brother.
Who was that?
When Adisa died in, is it early this year or late last year in GT?
No.
It's not, you are not related.
I'm not related yet.
Okay. I was thinking you were.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My friend, where, sir?
Yeah.
I see everybody powerfully.
Yes. I think President has gone for another meeting, just leaving us to talk. Suji, thank you for exposing yourself. Dr. Aroso, I didn't forget. I will send the thing, please, tonight.
No problem, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
My friend, Dr. Aroso, I greet you, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, Dr. Adisa.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, well done. Yes.